Alright, so today we're going to install an air filter. I think I did this one other time, I just didn't make a video of it. So there's 60,600 some miles on, and I think in the book it says every 30,000 miles you should change the filter. I did check it not that long ago, and it was kind of dirty. I took out the bigger chunks of road debris, and then I just put it back in again. And I think I flipped it. I flipped it upside down or something. So filter we're putting in today, this is supposed to be the right one, is a CA9997 Fram. And I just picked that up at the Walmart. So I'll get you started here. This is a pretty simple deal. The hardest part is getting the housing apart because it's kind of tight. So you got these two clips here, and then that's, as far as I know, I think that's it. At the bottom there's two tabs that kind of stick in, so you got to kind of rock this thing back and then like pull it up, and sometimes the filter likes to stick with that gasket. So let me set up the camera here. Alright, so like I said, we got those two clips. Should be all we need to do. Just gonna kind of pull it back and up. And at this point, you could get it out like this. The thing is, your filter is about that wide, so you need to get this back quite a bit. And I don't think it's hung up on a wire. It's just the way it is. It's a lot easier if you loosen this right here. If you loosen up this connection here. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't think you have to do that, but I don't know. I just don't like struggling with it. So we're just going to take this, loosen this up with a straight blade, and then I'm pretty sure we can just get this out. There it is. So now that's loose. That'll give you enough room to get the filter out. So all I did was take that air connection off. I'm just going to pull this filter out, up. Here's the filter. So if you take a look at that, you can see what's in there. It's not bad. Looks pretty good actually. And I don't know what this is for filter. It says made in Poland. So I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know what brand filter this is. Oh, it's a Wix. Probably can't see that. It won't focus, will it? You're not going to be able to see it, but it says Wix 45012, I believe. So let me get the new filter out here and we'll come. Okay, so anything obvious about these two filters? So obviously the Fram here has less pleats, so I would assume it's not going to filter as well. Boy, this is hard to pick up on a camera because there's so much white light with it, but you can see the pleats there. And then if we compare to pleats on this Wix is obviously a much better filter. Probably paid more money for it too, I'm sure. I think this Fram filter was like 11. This was probably, I bet, closer to 20 maybe. So otherwise looks pretty much the same. This one is made in China instead of Poland. So there again, obviously China makes stuff much cheaper. So yeah, let's just flip it around here. They both have a felt gasket on the top here. So this one you might want to watch closer, but I would assume with less pleats we're going to pick up like probably 25 horsepower with all that extra airflow. I'm obviously joking. So, and then this here, I don't know, I've heard some guys, they take this out. I don't know if this is some sort of like carbon filter. I don't know. There's no way of cleaning that, and that's like on the other side of the air filter. I don't know exactly why that's in there, but I'm not taking it out because I'm not messing around with that. So let me get set up here and we'll get this new filter installed. So in comparison to when you talk about Fram and then other types of filters, I would also guess that then the oil filter on a Fram is going to have less pleats, and that is going to be the reason why it's cheaper. Less pleats, cheaper filter. So if you didn't catch that when you install it, this side goes in first. Make sure it's down all the way. and in. And then, I don't know, I wish I could show you. Okay, here, let me see if you can see this. Oh, hold on, I got a great idea. Okay, so the great idea is to use this mini Maglite LED Pro. This thing is really bright. Picked it up also at Walmart this morning when I bought the filter. I saw it and I've been looking at these online, but I was like, I'll pick one up. Yeah, like, it is ridiculously bright. It says it's 272 lumens. It's pretty bright. So let's take a look at that. I pulled the filter back out just so you can see. So if you guys don't know what you're doing, well, it's almost too bright. So right down there, you'll see that there's a little opening and there's a tab on the bottom. And then wow, this is almost too bright. Like, you'd never think that a flashlight would be to a point where it was so bright you couldn't even use it because it hurts your eyes when it reflects off of whatever else. That's reflecting off my hand. So then you see the other square opening there at the bottom. That's where those two tabs on this main part here of that. This light is too bright. Housing, maybe that wasn't a great idea. And I'd pull this up, but it's kind of a deal. Maybe you can see the tab on the bottom there. Down at the bottom, you can see there's a little square tab on there. That's what goes in that square tab on the bottom. So you got to make sure those two are in, because you could easily run these tabs down and the bottom wouldn't be in all the way, and then you'd be sucking air on the wrong side of the filter, and that would be bad. So let me get reset up here. We'll put this back in and button it up. Okay, so till here I got the bottom in, so you want to make sure that's in. Kind of check the filter, and then this kind of whole assembly comes in. Snap the two snaps, and then what I like to do is just take a flashlight, one that's so bright that if you stare at it, you go blind, or if it reflects on anything silver, you lose your eyesight. And just double check to make sure those tabs are in. You can kind of pull on it too. You can feel if it's not in, if you pull on the bottom and it's loose. And then the last step would be, if you did this step, which I said this is kind of an optional step depending on what you're doing, just to get that air connection here put back together again. And with these two, it's kind of a good idea, keep one hand on it, pulling it in, so it's, and then drop your screwdriver to keep that on, because otherwise that clamp will sometimes work this connection off. And then so I pull on it a little bit to keep it tight, and then I just screw it down. There you go. So yeah, that's it. Air filter is pretty simple. I've never paid anyone to change an air filter, so hopefully if you're not mechanically inclined, this helps you out, but there's not much to it. I don't know if I'd recommend a Fram filter. If you're looking for cheap filters, Fram's the way to go, but a Wix is obviously a better filter, because that's what I put on. I think I got that from a parts store last time. So, also then, real quick on this light here, this thing is really bright. So, and it's nice having a light, but I don't know, it's almost too bright. So, and this was about, it was under 20 bucks. Came with the batteries and a little nylon holster or whatever. So there you go, 2014 Subaru air filter at the 60,000 mile interval.